healing section, it's a therapeutic session, and it's a session that you're going to learn a lot. Now, you don't have to be in an emotionally abusive relationship to actually learn about it. You can learn these. When you're seeing the signs, when you're seeing the signs, you can learn to avoid this kind of people. You can learn to what to do at that particular time. Yes, we are live on YouTube. All right, all right, all right. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. You're welcome, welcome, welcome once again to a special relationship talk webinar, which is titled When Love Hurts. Identify emotional abuse before it breaks you. If you watch my intro video, I said something that see, emotional abuse is so subtle that it's almost unrecognizable. People don't know what they are involved in. So it makes it more difficult to identify and to live. It makes it difficult to avoid because it's not in the physical expression, it's not in the beating that is when somebody, the partner slaps the person or hits the person, you can say, oh, I don't want this, and you can find a way to live, but it's so subtle that it creeps in and then it starts breaking your confidence, starts breaking your clarity. It is, I believe, I think I've even been in an emotional abusive relationship before because it spiritually cripples you. It cripples you. So whether you're single, whether you're dating, whether you're engaged, whether you're married, whether you're separated, whether you're healing from a past relationship, or you're simply here to learn and to support someone else, or you just want to know so much, you want to know about the soul that you can help others, you are welcome. And I want you to know that tonight's conversation is very, very important. It's very important because many people don't understand emotional abuse. Many people don't recognize it. In fact, many people don't even see it as, they don't classify it as a form of abuse. Because it can be confusing. It can hide behind love. Like it can hide under obsession, it can hide under religion, it can hide under culture. It is it's hides, right? It's not something you can easily pinpoint, that is easily visible. And in this part of the world, many people don't classify it as abuse. Do you understand? When it's physical abuse, people are like, oh, this is an abuse. You need to take care of yourself. You need to go. But when it's emotional abuse, a lot of people don't think that the person is in an abusive relationship. But my emphasis today is that love isn't supposed to hurt. And that's what brought about the topic, the theme, when love hurts. Because love is supposed to build, and we're going to learn as we go on what love is and what love is not, because we need to remind ourselves so that when you will see what love is not, you're able to pinpoint and recognize that this is not love. You're able to walk away from that which is not love. So love isn't supposed to hurt. Love isn't supposed to destroy. Love isn't supposed to put people down. And tonight's session is not to judge anybody. It's not to shame anybody. It's not to blame anybody. It's not to make anybody afraid. It is to enlighten people, to bring clarity, to bring wisdom, to bring safety, to bring truth, and hopefully to help people walk away from emotionally abusive relationship. And this is the third time we'll be doing this. This is the third or fourth time. And the feedback is always so encouraging because you see a lot of people now come into my DM and talk about a lot of things and how they are able to now, how they are able to get courage to live because they can actually now put a name to what has been wrong and actually see that what they're going through is not the right thing. All right. So let's get right into it. We have so much to say. We have so much to talk about. All right. So let's start with what love is. What is love? What is love? We know that God is love. And I think I mentioned, I spoke about this. If you were in our relationship recalibration webinar, you will know I spoke about what is love. So love isn't just a feeling. Love is not a feeling. In fact, when we look at First Corinthians, is it First Corinthians 3, verse 1 to 13, it says it gives the attribute of love. Yes, that's biblically. But love, that's the emotional one we're talking about. Love is not just the feeling, it's not just emotions, it's not just the chemistry, it's not just the kiss that happens to you. It is a pattern of honor. It is a safe place. It is a place of truth. It is in the responsibility and the care. See, many people define love by feelings alone. Butterflies, if you were in Beyond Butterflies, I talked a lot about how that love is beyond the butterflies you feel in your stomach, right? So generally, people define love by okay. Please, can you mute your mics? I'm gonna try to mute everyone now so that you don't distract the class. Okay. So many people define love by the butterflies, the chemistry, oh my God. When you walked into the room, I couldn't breathe, and that is the natural definition of love, and a lot of people are just so hooked on that. But love is beyond that. Love is beyond that. It is more than the feeling. It is more than the gift. You will see somebody hurting the partner so much, but yet they give them a lot. For many abusive, you're gonna get it. Many abusive relationships, after the abuse, then the partner comes and apologizes and now buys a very nice gift and say, I'm sorry. There's someone I know, it does surprises. And one day I saw on his status and a package an apology gift. And I'm like, as the what's the morale beyond this? I said, oh, that the boyfriend cheated on the girlfriend, and she was upset, and so you package an apology gift, money bouquet, and all those things. And I'm like, okay. So love is not in the gifts, right? You can express love through that, but that's not what love is. That isn't what love is. It's deeper than the feeling. It is not what a person says. It is what their action produces. Love is in the action. Love is in what the person does consistently, right? Love, the effect of love on the other person is that the person feels safe, the person is built, the person feels confident, the person grows. A person can say, I love you, and still be controlling. We see a lot of stories. A person can buy gifts and still be manipulative, gaslighting. A person can post people publicly and still dishonor you privately. Let me share you. So there was one guy I dated like that. I'm gonna be sharing a lot of stories. People stories and personal stories. So this guy, I want to be fast so that we can manage our time. So this day he brought in a lady to his house. I didn't know. And then I got to know later, and I was so pissed off. And the next morning, I think the lady went, whatever they did, that's their own business. And he now came to my house in the morning, and he was not saying, apologize and saying, hey, whatever you think I've done wrong, I'm sorry, I will not do it. You don't worry, when we get married, I'm going to change. And I'm like, what's the meaning of that? And you know me that I was like, please don't. I'm not even in the mood for this. And it was like, I'm just sorry. And it was there for like 30 minutes to 1 hour begging me. And long story short, I was like, okay. So when he went home, he went on Facebook, he posted a picture and wrote so many sweet things. So I saw it and I was like, what's the meaning of this? Like, so after you've done something wrong, when you were doing something, when you were having whatever with you did not know. You did not know. And then you're now posting publicly and writing so many sweet things and putting the love of my life. I was so pissed. I just put in the comment, oh, you still have this picture, right? And he got angry and pulled down the post. So it's not in posting publicly. A person can post publicly and they still hurt the person. Love is in the expression of the action. A person can cry after hurting you and still repeat the same thing. I've seen instances where the guy will hurt the lady and she gets so angry, I'm leaving. I say, oh, I cannot do without you. You are my life. And they would be genuinely crying. But some will prostrate. Some will prostrate and say, yeah, without you, I'll just die. And you can legit hurt this person. So a person can do all that and still hurt the person. But you see, that is not love. Because love isn't supposed to hurt. Love isn't supposed to hurt. So I want you to understand that love has to be tested by the fruit, by the result it produces, not just by emotion. Love has to be tested by the result it produces. I need someone to write that down. Not just by the emotion. How do we tell that God loves us? Is the result that we feel. That's how we tell. That's how we know. It was not on empty promises. God did not just say, oh, I love you. And that's that. The Bible says, for God so loved the world, and then what follows? He gave. There was an expression. And when he gave, we felt the impact of that giving because it made us better people. It transformed our lives. Do you see? Do you see? So when we look at says 1 Corinthians 13, not 3, 13 verse 47 tells us what love is. Love is patient, love is kind, and all these attributes of love. And I'm telling you that this is not a weapon to force people to endure abuse. It's just so you can recognize what you're in for. You can recognize if you are experiencing love or not. So what's the difference? Love is patient. Abuse is explosive. Love will not put you down. Love always uplifts. Abuse puts the person down and tramples on the person. Love does not dishonor. Abuse humiliates the person. You see, abuse glorifies in humiliating, in putting the person down, in trampling on the person, in taking the voice of the person. Love gives voice to you. Abuse takes it. Abuse takes it. Love encompasses. Abuse isolates. Abuse isolates. Love protects. Abuse threatens and exposes. Love rejoices in truth. Abuse twists reality. Abuse, we do something wrong and then shift the blame on the victim. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. So now that we know what love is, let us see what love is not. So that you'll be able to identify when abuse is masquerading as love, because it does that a lot. And do you know, most times, the victims are people that are yearning for a kind of people that have been love-starved. Now, let me say this, that everyone, everybody, every one of us, we have a love tank that needs to be filled. And unfortunately, some people didn't have the opportunity. They didn't get their love tank filled. They were raised by parents that didn't know. They parented only how they know how to parent. So they didn't have their love tank filled. So the first person or the first guy, so some people don't have the presence of fathers. So there was a yearning, there was a scarcity, there was a starvation of love. So the first time someone comes and presented love, because they didn't know what love looked like, they accepted it as love. And then they get to a point where they are so afraid to even lose that little bit of attention. And then they stay because they don't know what love is. Now let's talk about what love is not. Love is not control. I've heard a lot of instances where the person will say, hey, it's because I love you. That's why I'm controlling you. I don't want anything to happen to you. Love is not control. In fact, there is a saying that when you love a thing, you let it go. If it's yours, it's going to come back to you. Love is in the freedom. So love is not control. Love is not fear. If you're always living in constant fear, if your relationship is more of fear than safety, that is not love. Love is not fear. Love is safety. And we can see in the love that God shows us, we are safe, not in constant fear. So love is not fear. Love is not confusion. You're not confused. You don't even know what you're doing. Like, we do this one, you don't have to do it. You do that one, you don't have to do it. Love is not fear. Love is not humiliation. Love does not humiliate. There was a day I saw, when I was in school, there was this friend of mine. So he had this girlfriend, and the lady was schooling, I think, in Cotonou or something, and she came all the way to Ilorin to see him. And then one day I just went to visit because I wanted to beat her. Yeah. And so when I knocked the door, I guess she was tying it well and all that. And she came to open the door because she asked, I think there was somewhere, maybe, I don't know, in the restroom. So when she opened the door and I came in, and while I was there, the guy just said, "You don't have sense. Look at you. See how you're dressed. What if that person?" Like, and he started bashing her while I was there. And I was like, you know that feeling now? Like, I don't understand. Hello? Can you guys not, you know? So he legit humiliated her. I felt so sorry for her. Like, and I was like, this relationship it is not. And she just called. I was like, God, I was trying to, because I knew she was the one and she was trying to explain, but he didn't give her room to explain. Shouted her down, backed up in the corner, and I was like, what kind of movie is playing in my presence? So that is not love. Hi. That is not love. Do they have feelings for each other? Yes. They have feelings for each other. But see, that relationship, there was no trust. There was humiliation. There was constant, exchange of vulgar words like, yeah, you're mad, you're crazy. Yeah, all those stuff. What's that puts people down? That is not love. So love does not humiliate. Love is not manipulation. Love is not manipulation. So humiliation will say, I will reduce you so I can feel powerfully. Love says, I'll correct with honor and not you. See what manipulation? Manipulation will use guilt, we use silence, we use tears, we use threats and affection to control your choices. Manipulation will say, it's because I love you, that's why I slapped you. It's because I don't want you to, I'm correcting you. I'm correcting you. Manipulation will say, it's because I want you to be better. It's because I love you, that's why I'm doing all these things. In fact, you don't know, you're even making me angry. It's because you made me angry. If you did not make me angry now, I wouldn't have said those kind of things. Manipulation. Love isn't manipulation. I want you to note something. Write this down, please. Write this down. Love does not require you to lose yourself in order to be chosen. If you have to lose yourself to prove that you are worthy to be loved, that is not love. Love does not require you to lose yourself in order to be chosen. So if someone consistently makes you feel afraid, makes you feel small, makes you feel confused, ashamed, isolated, and controlled, we can't keep calling that love. Now, there might be some sweet moments. There might be some times when it's all mushy and then it buys gifts and then it says all sorts of things. But if these things are there, that is not love. Yeah, that is not love. That is not love. That is not love. So love does not require you to lose yourself in order to be chosen. And one of the reasons many people stay in harmful relationship is because abuse often disguises itself as love. And over time, the victims begin to believe that actually they're in a love relationship, but they don't understand why this hurts so much. Because what they're in is abuse. packaged as love. The kind of relationship they're in is when abuse masquerades as love. So you see one thing about abuse, eh? Abuse will not come and announce and say, I am here to destroy you, I am here and I want to destroy you. Rather, abuse will borrow the language of love. Abuse will say, I control you because I care about you. It's because I care, because I love you so much, that's why I'm controlling you. I want it to be better. Abuse will say, I get jealous because I love you so much. It's the love I have for you that is making me jealous because I love you so much. Abuse will say, I shout because you don't always listen to me. That's why I have to shout, I have to correct you because every time you don't always listen to me. Yeah. Abuse will say, I am insulting you because I want it to be better. So the reason why I'm insulting you is because I want it to be better. You know all these bad things you used to do. I want it to be better. Abuse will say, I'm isolating you because your friends are bad for us. Abuse isolates. So we explain to you and say, it's because your friends, this person, I feel that this your friend, Shade is a bad person, because they know that if you are around friends, friends can enlighten you and wake you up to know that no, this relationship is not the right one for you. So abuse will say, I check your phone because I feel you should have nothing to hide. They will be the one to check your phones, but you cannot check their own. Right? So many examples. Say, I punish you because I need you to learn. Abuse will say, see, this one is very paramount. I am the end. So after I'm in control of everything, whatever I say, that's it. Because I am the end. So you cannot be controlling, you cannot come and talk against what I'm saying. What I say is final. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong. I'm the head. You see, this one is very rampant, especially in the African culture. I'm the head. So every time I say goes, I have the final say. It is not open to debate, it's not open to negotiation. But the question is not only what they said, it's not only what the person is speaking, but it is in what is the result. What is the result? So if what this person is doing, if what this person is saying, is it producing peace or anxiety? Is it letting you grow or is shrinking you? Every time that your partner shows love in court, do you feel peace? Or do you get afraid? Do you feel safety or fear? Is it giving you dignity? Or is it humiliating you, shaming you? Is it producing trust? Or is it confusion? It's giving you confusion. That's how you're able to know whether this is love or is abuse. What is the result? Because you see, love will always build, like we have said. Love will always grow you. If it's whatever action it is, if it's not growing you, if it's not making you better, if it's not making you feel confident, I'm telling you that is not love. So you must learn to examine the effect. You take reflection. Today, I would like you to take a reflection. We'll do that later. And reflect the relationship. Since I entered this relationship, how has my life improved? How has my confidence improved? Because there's a saying that two heads are better than one, right? Two are better than one. Even the Bible says one shall chase 1,000 and shall what? Chase 10,000. That means that when you are two, your results should be better, right? So if you are in a relationship and your result is not commensurate, is even worse than when you're single, you're not in a love relationship. You're not in a relationship. So I want us to clarify something important. Now, I want to know that a good relationship isn't one without problem or conflict. Let me use conflict. And not every relationship conflict is abuse. So how can we tell the difference between conflict and abuse. Apologies, it's raining heavily here. I try not to get distracted. So one of the things we preach in marriage counseling, we tell people, couples, is that conflict is not negotiable. You will have conflict, right? You will have conflict. It's not negotiable. But how can you tell that this is the normal, usual conflict that happens in relationship and not an abuse? Follow me carefully. There is a balance that you need to know. Now, I want you to know that conflict is a disagreement. Like it's okay for you and your partner, whoever you're dating, or you're in a relationship with your husband about that. Apologies for that. Um, the networks. All right, so let's continue. The devil is a liar. We are gonna do this. Okay. Can you see me? All right, all right. Okay, let me know, please let me know if you can hear me. Thank you so much, people. You're welcome. Okay, so let's continue. Just a moment. I want to be sure that we are still live streaming. All right. All right, you're back. Thank you so much. Okay. So where was I? So I was saying that there needs to be a balance between conflict and abuse. So a normal relationship, we have conflict. In fact, you can, when you look at even siblings that you grew up with, by the time there is no time that you guys will have disagreements and you guys fight, you fight. And I have three children, and sometimes my second son and my daughter are so close. One moment you will think they can't do without each other. The other moment they are fighting. I'm not talking to this person again. So conflicts are normal. So how do you know if this is a normal conflict in this relationship or it is an abuse? So there are patterns, there are signs that you can use to know if it's a normal if it's normal disagreement or if it's conflict. Now, conflict is a disagreement, and it's okay to disagree. It's not everything that you agree with, okay? So disagreement is very, very okay in a relationship. While abuse is a pattern, and it's a pattern of power, it's a pattern of control, it's a pattern of fear, it's a pattern of manipulation and degradation. Do you see? So conflict is a disagreement, but there's a disagreement, you come together and you solve it. And you say, okay, I didn't like the way this happened or this, that. Like, oh, okay, I didn't mean to. Oh, I didn't know you didn't like it, and this being resolved. But you see, abuse is always one-sided. It is always one person that is always right. And the person does not give this person, the other partner, the room to talk. So it's always, yeah, the one at fault. It's always a pattern of power, excessive control over the other person, putting the person down, and the result is always fear. The result of conflict resolution is that it bonds you guys, the bond grows stronger, you feel more confident, feel safer. But for abuse, it breeds more fear, it puts the person down the more. Understand? So every difficult conversation is not abuse, and every disagreement is not abuse. Every argument is not abuse. Elder people can disagree, like with I and my husband. At times we disagree. It's not everything we agree on. Let me tell you, we have conflicts. So then I'll say, no, this one. We now have to explain, and we sit down and resolve our conflicts. LG couples offend each other. My husband offends me. I offend him and repair. Healthy relationships go through hard seasons and they come out of it. And they are still that they come out of it stronger and better, both parties. But abuse is different. Now let me give you the scenario. So conflict says, when there's a conflict, there's a disagreement. So resolving the conflict says, oh, we have a problem and we need to talk about it. While abuse says, you are the problem. I must control you. It's only you. You're the one that caused it. You're the one that made me to do this. You're the one that made me to do that. So abuse is always pointing fingers saying you are the problem. They are never the problem. The abuser is never the problem. But it's the victim that is always the problem, no matter what. Conflict can be uncomfortable sometimes, right? But abuse is absolutely unsafe. See, anytime, any relationship you're losing your peace over, that you're not feeling safe, you have to watch it. There's tendency, there's an abusive relationship. So conflict allows conversation. Abuse gives no room for conversation. It's a one-way street. Is the abuser that is always talking. We don't even give room for the person to explain. The abuser is always the one saying this, that does not give room for even the fact. At least if there's an issue and I have something against you, you should be able to defend yourself and say, this is not why, this is the reason why I did this and I did that. But abuse doesn't give room for conversation. abuse blames. What's the blame game? It is your fault. Even when it is not, even when it is not intentional, it is abuse. To say it's your fault. Like my friend and his girlfriend. I mean, I looked at the scenario and I was like, I don't see anything that is wrong. I don't see anything wrong with this. Like, it is not, as in, if I know that you're a female and I'm like underdressed or something, is it not female to female? Right? There was no room for explanation. It was just the one-way street conversation. So another thing is that conflict has accountability. When you resolve conflict, in conflicts, normal conflicts, there is ownership of there's ownership of responsibility. Like, oh, I'm sorry, it is my fault. Each partner can admit their fault when they're at fault, right? There is ownership, there is accountability, but abuse plays the blame game. It's always the victim. You are the one at fault. Even if it's a natural occurrence, it's because maybe you did not play. They will fight something. So abuse always plays the blame game, always blames. While conflict, if it's normal conflict, the partner takes responsibility. So conflict resolution seeks to repair, right? If there's a conflict, okay, what do we do? How do we resolve this? I don't like the way that I don't like this tension around us. Okay, what's the matter? What's the matter? Sometimes in conflict, sometimes I'm also going to apologize for things that he did not do. Just to let peace reign. It will also okay, so it is I am sorry. Can we have normalcy in this house, dear sir? But abuse repeat cycle. Abuse doesn't care how you feel, does not apologize, does not seek to repair. Abuse seek to exert power. Right? As long as I am the one in charge, seeks to exert power. The power comes when the other partner is belittled, is put down low. So conflict respects boundaries, abuse punishes boundaries. So you need to ask yourself, after disagreement, if you're in a relationship, after disagreement, do I still feel safe to speak? Or have I learned to keep quiet because the reaction is too costly? If you're in a relationship and you cannot speak, you don't have a voice, you don't have a say because you are afraid of the backlash. An abusive relationship, idea, an abusive relationship. Because a healthy relationship is not the one that kills your voice. A healthy relationship gives you voice. You have a voice, you have a say in that relationship. You have a say. I see a lot of, as a marriage counselor, in fact, some marriages, some women come to me and when they share their story, I just grieve for them. They don't have a say. They don't have, it is what the husband says, that even when it's wrong, they cannot even say, can we, hey. So you need to ask yourself, in this relationship, do I have a voice? Can I say something? Can I say my opinion and still feel safe and still feel confidence? You need to ask yourself. So in a healthy conflict, right, both people may be upset, but they still respect each other. They still respect the feelings of each other, right? They still honor each other. They still know that this person matters. I may feel hurt or upset with you right now, but I still respect you. There was one picture I saw, and it was so beautiful when the chair, and could see that from the scenario they were having a disagreement, and so the beautiful thing that the husband now did. So it started to rain, and even though they had their backs turned to each other, the man just opened the umbrella and stretched it, and the rain to drench her. So see that's conflict, and that's conflict resolution. Like, even though I'm upset with you right now, and doesn't care about the feeling. Abuse doesn't care. Abuse will trample on the shred of dignity left. So conflict resolution leads to, in healthy conflict, apology leads to repair. In abuse, apology resets the cycle. There is a cycle of abuse. It is something that is done, is a consistent exertion of power control over the other person. So in healthy relationship, when there's a conflict and then each person apologizes, there is a repair, there's a feeling, there's a safe, it brings you closer, right? You bond better because now you know better. Say, okay, this is what this person doesn't like. You have a better understanding. But you see, in abuse, apology just reset the cycle, right? Apology starts to say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. The I'm sorry does not mean that, oh, I care about it. It means that, yes, I am right. You have to say sorry. Do you understand? So no matter how you feel, no matter, just apologize and let this whole thing, it's doesn't go away. It is not about hearing what you have to say. It doesn't, abuse doesn't care about the feelings of the victim. Doesn't care about how you feel, whether you are broken or this thing. It just wants its own gratification. The abuser wants its own gratification. I would even tell you to apologize for what you did not do. In fact, you're the one that should be apologized to. You will be the one to apologize. Right? And sometimes there is a subtle threat. Like if you know that there's this
Almost
mentality
finish.
that an abuser push out.
Plenty things. No, just not make I for this time.
Sorry, please. I need to. Okay, give me 1 minute. Please, can you please mute your mics? Thank you. So abuse will not so abuse will, okay, right. So abuse we does not care about the end result, does not care about how the person feels, just his own gratification. The abuser wants his own gratification. So can you see? Can you see? So let's go. Now let's look at what is emotional abuse. We've talked about what love is, what love is not. We've talked about how abuse masquerades as love, and we've talked about the difference between conflict and abuse, knowing that conflict is not abuse, and it's not every disagreement is an abuse. So how do we know this? By the outcome of what is the outcome on each person, right? If it's the outcome leads to you feeling down, feeling torn, feeling fear, then that is abuse. If it's a pattern of correction where you now feel more bond together and you grow, then that is a healthy relationship. What is emotional abuse? Write it down. So emotional abuse is a repeated pattern that uses words, silence, fear, shame, manipulation, control, or intimidation to weaken another person's confidence, peace, identity, autonomy, or reality. I'll come again. Look at it again. So emotional abuse is a repeated pattern. Emphasis on repeated pattern. It's not a one-off thing. It's a repeated pattern that weaponizes words, weaponizes silence, weaponizes fear, shame, manipulation, control, and intimidation to weaken or to attack another person's confidence, peace, identity, autonomy, and reality. So it's not just one careless statement. It's not just one wrong word. It's not just one bad mood. It's not just one mistake or one misunderstanding. It is a repeated pattern. It is a cycle. It is a vicious cycle that keeps occurring. It is a pattern that slowly weakens a person, and that is why it is not easy to point, because it's very subtle. It's slow poison. So the more the pattern occurs, the more it weakens the person. Subtly, slowly, but it is almost unnoticeable, but the person begins to lose himself. The person begins to lose himself or herself. So Slow poison. So it happens slowly. It weakens the confidence slowly. It weakens their peace slowly. It weakens their voice slowly. It weakens their sense of reality slowly. It weakens their independence. And it weakens their identity. This is why it's so brutal. The person loses herself or himself, becomes a shadow of their former selves. And sometimes the person being abused does not even realize how much they changed, because it's a slow thing. And because one of the patterns of an abuser is they isolate their victim. There is nobody to really tell them that you've changed. So it is, they don't know how much they have changed until they take a break and look back and ask, what happened to me? Where did I go? Where did I become this afraid? And this is one of the essence of this webinar, is to make you take a pause and reflect on your relationship. Reflect on how has this relationship affected you. And if any relationship, even if it's not a love relationship, I want to add this, even if it's a friendship, even if it's whatever relationship it is, you have to review it from time to time. How is this person adding to me? How is this relationship adding? Is it draining me, or it is adding to me? Is it a mutual benefit, right? Is it a value for value? Am I growing? Am I getting as I'm given? Or is it a one-sided thing that is just taking from me? Is it just taking from me? Am I losing myself in the process? Or am I getting myself? Am I getting an understanding of myself? Do you see? So you need to always reflect on your relationship. To always reflect, to look up, track your growth record. Track it. Who are you before this relationship? Who are you after? Who are you before? Who are you after? If you're in a marriage, to ask yourself, who am I before? Who am I after this relationship, with this marriage? Because see, the truth is, you're meant to be better. You're meant to have grown. I was not like this before I got married. If I'm one of the people that helped me, that pushed me to overcome my whatever I was afraid of, and to just run that, is my husband. He wouldn't let me rest. I wanted to hide, but he did not give me hiding space. And everything I have to do just to refine myself, to get better, it doesn't stand in the way. It doesn't. You have to do it. In fact, if I go for some time and there's nothing happening, you ask me what's happening with your community. Do you see? So you have to be a better person, because you see, in God's pattern, let me just share something with you. In God's agenda, every day has to be a better day. You don't have to have a better yesterday. Proverbs 4:18 says, the path of the just shines ever brighter until the perfect day. So if you are better when you are single than when you're in a relationship, something is wrong. Because that relationship is meant to fast track your speed, is meant to push you faster, is meant to help you to get to the journey of destiny faster. So if it's drawing you back, if it's dragging you back, if it's putting you down and leaving you as a shadow of your former self, then that is abuse. Let's continue. So you need to ask yourself. So they don't know how much they've changed until they realize. And it's not every one of them that get to this point where they ask themselves, where did I go? What happened to me? When did I stop speaking? When did I stop laughing? When did I stop trusting myself? When did I stop having friends? The reason this topic matters is because emotional abuse can be quiet, but the damage is deep. It's brutal, it's grieving, because it's not a physical. The worst form of hurt is emotional hurt. Why? Because you can't see it. Sometimes you don't even know it's there. And it happens subtly. You don't even know that you are getting hurt. And guess what? It takes the longest time to heal. It takes the longest time. When a victim has been brought to that level before the person will find themselves, it is traumatic. It's traumatic. And sometimes it might take years for the person to recover. It's so brutal. And guess what? It is rampant. It's rampant. It's rampant. But it's been disguised in so many places as culture. It's been disguised as the norms in so many places. Okay, let's move forward. Now, I want us to look at some of the patterns of an emotional abusive person. So, see, by their fruits we shall know them. So, what are the patterns? There is a certain way they operate. All right. So, if you see those patterns in your relationship, you're most likely in an abusive relationship, emotional abusive relationship. So, the first one I want us to talk about is gaslighting. This is so rampant, gaslighting. And what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into doubting your memory, doubting your feelings, doubting your perception or your reality. Like you are very sure, and the person will cause you to you start doubting that I did not see, but I saw this thing now. You see, it's the way they will put it, you'll be like, it gets you confused. You know what you saw. Police person say, no, that's not what you saw. No, this is you interpreted it some other way. So it is one of the most confusing parts of emotional abuse because it attacks your sense of reality. It makes you doubt what you're seeing. It makes you even doubt the truth when you see it. You know what happened. You saw the proof, but then they deny it. The way they will deny it, you will start doubting yourself. Like, wait, okay, is it that? Right? Did I really see this thing? But I saw the text. I heard the call, and they will deny it. You know what was said, but they will say you're lying. They will insist that you're lying. And when you express pain, they tell you that you're too sensitive. They'll call you, maybe you're imagining it. Maybe it's what I'm thinking about. They'll tell you that you are doing too much when you express pain. When you raise a concern, they will twist the conversation. See this one, the way they will twist the conversation and they will turn it on you. So you are the one that is hurt, you're the one that is wronged. But the way the conversation will go at the end of the day, you will be the one that apologize. That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. And gaslighting can sound like that never happened. No, it never happened. That's not what you saw. It can sound like you are imagining things. Too sensitive. Or I never said that. Have you ever, when you know you are very sure that you said this was what you said, and the person said, no, I never said that. And they will stand on it. And at the end of the day, because their voice is louder than yours, you have to keep quiet. So it sounds like you always exaggerate. You are the reason I act like this. You see, and the reason I'm always angry is because you see, that's why you always get me angry. And the reason I cannot control myself, when you get me angry, I cannot even just control myself. They blame you for everything. They turn the whole thing around. So even if there's an issue that needs to be resolved or discussed, by the time you even see that to be discussed, they will turn it on you. Right? That's gaslighting. So over time, you will now stop asking that, okay, what did they do? And you start asking what is wrong with me. You start second guessing yourself. You start thinking that something is wrong with you. You start looking at yourself that, okay, is it is it something I'm doing that is wrong with me? And that's the danger. Because gaslighting does not only make you doubt the other person, it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you lose trust in yourself. And when that begins to happen, you are slipping away gradually. And when trust is broken, when self-trust is broken, living becomes harder, becomes more difficult to live because you don't even believe in yourself so much to trust your judgment. When self-trust is broken, you begin to doubt your own judgment. You begin to doubt your instincts, your voice of conscience. So even when you see the truth, you begin to doubt it. That's where the danger is. You lose yourself. So let me give an example. Let's imagine, okay, two people in a relationship, and then the one partner insults his partner in front of friends, and then later the lady came and said, "What you said embarrassed me. I feel you should have just um just told me later, but I didn't like the way you insulted me in front of my friends." And instead of them saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's true, I shouldn't have done that," they will say, "But I didn't insult you now. You're just too sensitive. I beg you, always you're so dramatic. What did I say? It was not an insult." But everybody was laughing. Everybody was, laughing at you. But they're like, what I said was not insulting. Now we were just playing, we were just joking. I was just joking. Now you're too sensitive, you're too dramatic. That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. So what could the person have said? They have said, I didn't realize that it really hurts you. I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. I will make sure I don't do that again. I'm really sorry that um you didn't feel good about it. Do you understand? So let's move to the next pattern. The next pattern is silent treatment. And I know that many people many women are silent treatment tip. But you see, the silent treatment in emotional abusive is different, right? It is on a higher level. And if you are here, you still have the habit of giving people silent treatment when they offend you, get that from that table now. Now, see, communication is very key. It's very key in relationships. You need to be able to communicate. If someone hurts your friend, you need to be able to tell them that this is what you have done to me. Sometimes you don't know. Instead of giving silent treatment, guess what? I used to give silent treatment too. When my husband offends me, I'll just puff up. And he just gets me, just say, good morning, good morning. We'll just pass. I'll just carry my hand. Have you seen my, I don't know where it is. Maybe you can check. So I'll come and say, I say, I don't understand. What did I offend you? You're supposed to like, no, not anything. So why are you acting like this? And eventually you will not leave me alone until we talk about the issue. So and I have realized that talking about it helps. I mean, all the energy you use to give silent treatment, I beg, is totally unnecessary. So if you're on that table, I respectfully get down, and pick your shot and go. Because that table want to burn it. All right, so let's move to silent treatment. Oh God, you're almost done, soon be done. So when silence is used as punishment, control, or emotional manipulation, that is silent treatment. When you're not just keeping quiet because you want to meditate or you want to reflect, like keeping quiet to punish the person or to control the person. Like, where is this thing? Where is that? I heard just about some couples that when they have conflict or disagreement, they will not talk to each other. They will not be sending their children, "Go and tell your daddy that food is ready." And the father will send the child, "Go and tell your mother that I'm coming." And I heard the gist that some couples keep it up for weeks. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what's the video of that? We're keeping malice with each other. That's a digression. So silent treatment is when silence is being used as punishment, as control, or emotional manipulation. So silence is not always abuse. There is a time where it's not every time you talk. There's a time you have to keep quiet. Maybe when you want to meditate or you want to, sometimes I want to talk to my husband and just give me silent. At times I'm not in the mood to talk to anybody. My husband wants to gist, but I'm probably in deep meditation or thinking about something, and that's different. So sometimes you need space to calm down. Sometimes you might be overwhelmed and just need space to just calm all the way down. Or maybe you're angry, or maybe you're feeling angry or feeling, or you just want to pull yourself together. So, and it's just complicated. Please, can you give? I need 30 minutes. I need some minutes to just put myself together. Or I'm in the middle of something. I need some time to myself. So that is healthy communication. That's healthy relationship, right? But silent treatment is different. Silent treatment would say, "I will withdraw from you until you have suffered." When you have suffered, you will not bend to my will. When the other person is tired of silent treatment, you just say, okay, do you want me to apologize? Yeah, I'm sorry. So silent treatment, the aim is to punish, not to repair. The aim is to control the person and say, I'm not going to say anything until you come and grovel, until you come and beg. I won't say anything. You see. So it looks like ignoring the person for hours or days, refusing to speak until the person apologizes. Oh, in fact, some people will block, they will block their partner on WhatsApp or something and unblock them to create panic. They withdraw affection and or they act as if the other person did not exist as yours. Like the way they will just act as if, oh, I was one, I witnessed something one day and I was like, I just felt sorry for the lady. I don't know, they had issues. She had issues with the guy, and the guy gave her silent treatment. And guess what? They came together. So the guy drove her to the place. And because of the issue, the guy didn't talk to her. He didn't even tell her. He drove home without her. I saw that I was like, oh, no, this isn't meant to, this is supposed to be. That's bad. So when silence is being weaponized, it is abuse. When silence is being meant to make people to make people when silence is being used to make people feel bad until they say sorry, it is bad. So when the person starts giving silent treatment, what happens? The other party starts begging, start over explaining, start apologizing for things they did not even do, just for peace to reign. The other party just want peace to reign. Say, okay, don't worry. Okay, what do you want? Is this I give you what you want, just for peace to reign? But that kind of peace is not a normal peace. It's called self-survivor. It's a survivor peace. It's not a normal peace. Let me give an example. A spouse that refused to speak for 3 days because their partner disagreed with them. So they will eat the food, live in the same house, but act like the partner is not existing. And then by the third day, because the partner is tired, they apologize. Not because they were wrong, but because they just want to do away with the silence. It's unbearable. Do you know it's very terrible when two people are in the same space and they're not talking to each other. It is worse. So I'm telling you, if you're alone, you know you're alone. But two people are in the same space and they're not speaking to each other. So terrible. In fact, the other person that is on the receiving end would want to do everything it takes just to restore normalcy because everywhere will be tense unnecessarily. All right. So that is not maturity, that's punishment, right? So let's go to another one. Another pattern is this one is it's also rampant, is control and isolation. So the first thing an abuser does is they isolate the person so that they can fully control them. When love starts reducing your freedom, your support, your voice, your movement or relationships, then it's control. When your partner start telling you, I don't want you visiting. In fact, see some people, they actually restrict the partners from even seeing their own family members. It's bad. So they don't have friends. They are not permitted to see their family members. They are just alone. So, and it's the tax of the devil. When the devil wants to defeat a person, isolate the person, carries you away from it. Do you know that in the jungle, when the lion wants to hunt, what does he do? He hides somewhere and then lets out a roar. So when the animals hear the roar, they start scampering for safety. And what does the lion do? The lion will now look and search for one of the animals that's alone, that's isolated from the herd, and goes after that. And almost as a near success rate, as nearly they're almost successful all the time because there is no the animal is alone. So that's what the abuser does. Isolate and then control. So control often starts small, right? The isolation starts small. You can start with, I don't like this friend, you don't like that friend. Your family is too involved, they are too meddling, you don't have to call you every day, you guys have to talk, you don't have to, do not pick the call. So it starts little by little from them being displeased about your friends, or I don't like that your friend, she talks too much, or this one, your friend that is very single, he will just give you bad advice. So it does not come with, it does not come as, oh, I want to isolate you. It will come masked as care. This person, the way your family is belly into their affairs too much, they will just give you wrong advice. And little by little, slowly, you stop calling people. Slowly, stop going out. Slowly, you stop talking to people, stop sharing your thoughts. Slowly, you stop asking for help. You stop hearing other voices. And the only voice that you hear before you know it is the abuser's voice. That becomes their only voice. And the more you hear the voice, the more it becomes permanent here. So abuse loves isolation because isolation removes perspective. Isolation removes accountability. Isolation removes exposure. People don't see what you're, people don't even know what you're going through. So even tell you that this thing you're going through is not the correct thing. So the only voice you're hearing is the voice of the abuser. You see, and that's why they isolate, so that they are able to, it's easier to control in isolation. One thing is healthy love. Love does not cut you off from your safe space. It does not cut you off from support. It does not fear wisdom. It does not fear counsel. It does not require secrecy. Love does not require secrecy. As you see in counseling, you see a lot of times we tell when ladies come, say, I can't be your partner, they don't want to come. An abuser will not seek counsel, will not follow you and can see on counselor. And even if they eventually come, they will not listen to counsel. They will not listen to counsel. I once asked somebody the other day I was counseling, and she came to tell me about a lot of things about our relationship and what is going on. I said, okay, ask this guy you're dating, who is his mentor? And then she came back and said, the guy said he is his own mentor. All right, that's him. This guy said he's his own mentor. Like, does not have a mentor, does not have that kind of person. So does not like to seek counsel. And guess what? She's still in a relationship with him. Right. So a relationship that demands secrecy while destroying you is not protecting love, it's protecting control, it's protecting their abuse. So the person said, no, we don't talk about our matters to people, and you are feeling down, you are feeling drained, and it's destroying you. That is not love. That is not love. That is abuse. For example, a partner that says, I don't like your friends, they are bad for you. And then it now becomes, why do you even need to go out? And then it becomes, stop telling your family things about them. Stop telling, why do you need to tell? Don't worry, the two of us can resolve whatever issue we have within us. And the the resolution that they are proposing is the one where they are justified and you have to apologize. And then they will now move to, if you love me, then I'm enough. I will be enough for you. That's not intimacy, that's isolation. That's isolation. So quickly, let's move to the next one. Let me see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are almost done. So the fourth pattern rather, is humiliation and devaluation. Hi. When jokes, criticism, sarcasm, and disrespect slowly breaks your self-worth. The jokes are always on you. I always tell some people something. Your partner is mandated to always protect you. Your partner is mandated to always protect you. Some people will wound you and then call it a joke. They mock the way they look. They make their partners the joke of the group. They mock their intelligence, their family, even their dreams, and then when they react, they say, oh, you're too sensitive. I was just joking. Right? Humiliation can be public or private. So it's not only in public. It can be private. It can come as sarcasm. It can come as name calling. It can come as criticism constantly. It can come as comparison. It can come as them correcting you like a child instead of speaking to you like a partner. And I want to sound a note that because in a relationship, there is no child. The relationship is between two adults. So nobody should be correcting anybody like a child. Nobody. So it can come as the person correcting the partner as a child instead of like a partner. And you see over time, you know what happens? Their voice becomes your inner voice. You begin to constantly believe what they are saying. I begin to think that that is who you are. So love corrects, it doesn't crush. Love's correction builds. Like when love corrects, it leads to building, it leads to growth, it leads to you becoming a better person. But if the correction leads to crushing, that's not love. That's not love. Now, it does not mean that there won't be correction in relationship. There will be correction, but I say the correction with love will make you a better person. Will make you a better person. So let's say, for example, someone says to their partner, maybe the person says, I want to start a business. I'm thinking of a business idea. They're like, wait, you of all people, you want to start, everybody's doing business, you're doing business. I mean, which brain do you have to start business? So when the partner goes quiet, say, relax now, I'm just joking. You can never tell your partner that what's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of that? Right? Because over time, and it keeps recurring every time, over time, the partner will stop sharing their dreams and then begin to withdraw. That's devaluation. That's humiliation. All right. So let's go to fear, intimidation, and threats, and then we move to blame shifting. And there's one part I also want to talk about. So fear is a signal. I want you to know that love does not require fear to function. Many times we have confused love with fear. We have confused fear with like if somebody loves us, then you must be afraid of them. Because they love us. No. And do you know we relate with God that way too? Many people are afraid of God. Afraid of God. You feel that God loves us. Hey, I don't want to offend God, so God does not punish me. No. Love is not fear. Love does not require fear to function. There is no fear in love. So I want you to know that fear is not a normal ingredient of love. If you are constantly working on eggshells, you're always checking the person's mood before you speak, or always rehearsing your words, or avoiding some topics you don't want to talk about some topics, or always the one managing their emotions. I don't want this person to flare up, or shrinking to prevent an explosion. Then your body's telling you something. Right? Body's telling you something that something is wrong somewhere. Intimidation can be yelling, slamming doors, breaking objects, all in the name of I am angry, blocking movement, standing over the person. In the name of you're emotional, you're angry. That's intimidation. Intimidation does not have to touch your body before it gets harmful. Please note that. It does not when it gets physical. That's when it's intimidation. That's when it's harmful to you. It can be in the tone of the voice, and the slamming doors, and the breaking in the overbearing countenance. If the goal is to make you afraid enough to obey, then it's control. If the goal is to just make you obey, make you compliant, using fear, then it's control. Because love does not need fear to keep you. Love does not need fear to make you, comply, right? So, for example, whenever the partner is angry, they just throw things, they slam the doors, and they say, hey, you're pushing me too far. You're getting me angry. If I do this now, say, I've not touched you, but if you push me too far, I'm going to. The other person is already living in fear. And that fear, right? That fear brings the person down. If that is the case, that's not a healthy relationship, All right. So let's go to blame shifting. Blame shifting is also very common in an emotionally abusive relationship. We'll soon round up. Blame shifting is shifting the blame to the other person, regardless of which wrong, right? It happens when someone refuses to take responsibility and makes the partner responsible for their harmful behavior. So it can come as, hey, you made me do it. So blame shifting is not taking accountability, not taking responsibility, not being accountable, not taking ownership of what you have done. So it's blaming the other person and say, oh, it's because you shouted, that's why I did it. You made me do it. The food got burnt. Oh, you were talking to me, that was why the food got burnt. Do you understand? So it's not like if you had kept quiet, I would not have reacted. If you had not said anything, I would not have been angry. It's not like you're the one that is triggering me. You want to just say, just triggered me, I am triggered. It can sound like I shouted because you pushed me. Why did you push me? Yeah, the reason I'm behaving this way. It's because I love you. That's why I'm trying to, you see, I always getting me worked up. So it shifts the blame to the other person. They don't take responsibility for what they've done. And you see those kind of people, guess what? They're not teachable. You can't teach someone that refuses to take responsibility. It's only someone that knows that, oh, what I'm doing is wrong. I think I need to do better. That is the person that can grow. But the person that does not take ownership of what they does not take the blame for what they've done wrong can never get better because they don't think they're wrong. So they shift the blame and say, "Is this person? It's because of this? If not because of you gave me, it was your advice that made us lose the deal. It was because you refused to go to the you refused to go to school. That's why we did not make it." You know, blame shifting, blame shifting. So I want you to know that a person's feelings may be real, but their behavior remains their responsibility. How a person acts is their sole responsibility. How you react to a situation is your responsibility. I heard cases where the husband says, in physical abuse, and then he beats the wife and say, it's because she got me worked up. If it was a soldier, yeah, go to barrack. The soldiers not intimidate people. But you see those men, they will just cower. But they're throwing fists. That's by the way. So blame shifting shifts the blame to the other partner. In an abusive relationship, the person will say, the reason why you see I hurt you is because you're the one that is making me hurt you now. And I love you too much. And now you're making me hurt you. It's because you did this. You do not why did you go and talk to her? Why did you go and talk to your friend? I told you not to talk to your friend because I love you, but you talk to her, and now you say I'm hurting you now. You're the one that caused it. That's not accountability. That's blame shifting. Another example is a partner insults you during conflict, and later says, you know I have anger issues. Why did you provoke me? It was because you provoked me. And that's why I insulted you. And instead of taking responsibility that I should have learned to control my anger, they shift the blame and make you carry the weight of their lack of self-control. And now I want us to go to another one that is very rampant, which is spiritual manipulation. See, a lot of people, even in the church, they use this to subdue their partners. They twist the scripture just to, to back up what they are saying. They remove scriptures out of context and twist it to subdue their partners. So spiritual manipulation is when scripture concerning submission, forgiveness, prayer, or leadership is used to silence harm, is used to justify the abuse, is used to support the abuse. And this is very important. It's very because it is, it is more rampant than you guys think. I'm telling you, see it everywhere, almost everywhere. Right. So spiritual manipulation can occur when the faith language, when the Bible, right, is used to control, to shame, to silence, or trap someone in harm. Do you know during the slave trade, the masters, they used the Bible to control the slaves. So what happened was that they removed the scriptures. I read up on it one day, and there is the slave Bible. So that slave Bible is not the complete Bible that we have. They remove scriptures where it talked about there is neither slave nor free, Jew nor Gentile, everybody is when Paul was saying that there's neither male nor female, Jew nor Gentile, we are all one in God. So every scripture that has to do with freedom, what kinds of stuff for us, they removed it. And they left the ones where it says, slaves, obey your masters. So they weaponized the scriptures to keep people under bondage. So they used religion, using the scripture to keep people under bondage. And a lot of people do that in relationships today. They do it. They do it. So they use the scripture. They can say something like, you know that God hates divorce, so you have to endure. I posted something some days ago where Pastor GK was talking about the fact that some pastors, many pastors who have any business in counseling people, in marriage counseling, they don't. It's not because people don't have respect for their faith or this thing. That is not, they don't know. Because many pastors have led people into disaster by wrong counsel. They do, that's not their intention. They intended to do good, but because they don't have the necessary qualification and knowledge and oversight to be able to mediate in that situation, it caused more harm than good. So they weaponize the scriptures. Say God hates the divorce, so you must stay. So whether the person is threatening, whether the person is killing you, God hates divorce. So I tell people God hates divorce, but you know what also God hates? God hates murder. God hates it when you don't love your neighbor. The two greatest commandments is the first one is love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. And the second one, which is like it, is love your neighbor as yourself. So God hates it when people don't love their neighbor as themselves. So God hates divorce, but God also hates murder. God also doesn't like it when you don't get to fulfill your assignment. Do you see? That's the balance. When they take a set of the scripture and they weaponize it, and they use that to compel people to stay and endure in abusive relationships. So another one is a good wife submission. You see, that's it. The bastardized submission. My God, my God, my God. You have to submit. There is a template. I will not permit to go into all those things. One day we'll talk about. I'm going to treat the topic of submission and enlighten people's understanding. There's a template. There's something here. There's a caliber of man we are supposed to submit to. So you don't submit to nonsense. If the man does not meet that standard, submission fire. It's not good there. So another one is if you tell anyone you're supposed to protect me. So if you tell somebody you are exposing, you'll be exposing your partner, you're exposing this marriage, people will start laughing at you. So they use that to keep their abuse secret. Another one is you're not spiritual enough. Why you? That's why you're complaining. Instead of you start praying about it. And then so people will say, a wise woman beats her home. You need to go and pray. The other one is misbehaving. The other one is abusing that. She's praying. Right? I'm not saying prayer is bad. So don't worry, this conversation is for another day. All right. So another one is you must forgive and forget immediately. The Bible says, forgive and forget. You must forgive and forget. And by the way, forgive and forget is not in the Bible. I don't know, but it's not in my own Bible. Forgive and forget. The Bible says forgive, but you cannot forget. Right? So another one is the Bible says that the man is the head of the house. So I am the head of the house. Anything I say goes. So I want us to be clear that God's word should never be used as a weapon or should never be used to silence someone or to keep somebody in bondage. And you need to know that submission is not slavery. Forgiveness is not denial. And marriage is not a license for cruelty. Marriage is not meant to be endured. It's meant to be enjoyed. So if you are enduring your relationship or marriage, something is wrong somewhere. Another thing is leadership is not domination. Leadership is not rulership. And covering a relationship does not mean covering abuse. And I want to stand if anybody is in an abusive relationship, please speak You don't cover nonsense. You are not doing any harm. You're saving yourself. You're saving yourself. All right. God is not a supporter of oppression. God does not oppress, and He's not indifferent to oppression. And God does not ask people to pretend that I'm His holiness. God is always on the side. God is a just God. He's a just God. God is a just God. So let's move quickly to why people find it difficult to live. Then, okay, trauma. Okay. So why do people find it difficult to live? Right. Now, so it's easy to say that live. See, many times living is always hard. And it doesn't mean that the person is weak. It's because it's been a progression of that has led to result that has demoralized the person, that has killed the person's identity. So it's not easy to get up and live. And also there may be fear, maybe there are children involved, maybe there are finances involved. A lot of people find it difficult to leave their abusers because they are the ones sponsoring them financially. I've seen cases like that, and it's so sad. And I try to tell them that you have your intelligence, you can make money yourself, but they are so used to that. They ask us, if I leave him, so who's going to pay my bills? So a lot of people can't leave because they feel ashamed. Maybe they've aborted for the person, maybe they've gone through a lot, and they feel so ashamed, and they start asking, where do I start from? Some people can't leave because they have faith concerns. And I feel like people with the society will tell me I'll be isolated in the church. People will tell me as a divorcee or something. So people can't leave because they're afraid of isolation. They're afraid to be isolated. They're afraid that people will isolate themselves from them. And some people can't leave because they are already attached to their trauma. It's called trauma bonding. They're already used to it. I heard a story about a lady that says that any relationship, most relationship that she has been in, because her father was abusive towards her mother, so she thought it was normal. So every guy she had ever dated abused her, basically. So she dated a guy that was not doing all that, was loving, and it felt so strange to her. He left the relationship because it felt so strange. So people are already used to that abuse. They see it as normal. That when they experience the normal kind of relationship, it's strange to them. Strange to them. So, and you see, one of the most insensitive questions people ask is, why didn't you just leave? I know it's a concerning question, but sometimes it can be insensitive because there's so many reasons. Because when you are outside looking in, it looks as if it's simple. And this is the crux of this webinar, right? Because we're going to talk about how a person can live. So when you're looking from the outside, it seems so easy, like, why does she have to put up with this? Why does she endure? Sometimes you will even try to mediate. The victim will go back to the abuser, and you'll be like, this person doesn't want to be saved. But I'm telling you, when you look at it from the inside, it can be very complicated. It can be very complicated. And because of all these things I mentioned, it can be very complicated. So people don't always stay because they enjoy the pain. Many stay because the relationship has created emotional dependence and complication, financial complication, even spiritual complication, even social complication, even practical complication. Some abusers tell their victims that you cannot find anybody that will love you like me. I imagine hearing that word over time. Say, if you leave me now, you just be on your own. If you leave me now, who is going to marry you? Who is going to look at you? Do you know? Imagine hearing those words. You need to hear the words that abusers tell their victims. Oh gosh. So, because of issues like that, trauma bonding, and I want to explain trauma bonding more. All right. So, there's something they call the Stockholm syndrome. So Stockholm syndrome is when a victim gets used to abuse, that it gets what's the word to use? Gets attached to the abuser. Stockholm syndrome or trauma bonding. So they cannot live, they are attached to their abuser. So no matter how much pain the abuser inflicts on them, they can't live. They can't live. So, and it's because of so many cycles of abuse. So it goes like this. It goes from harm to apology to sweetness and to hope and then harm again. And like, oh, I didn't mean to do it. It is because you did. They apologize and then they bring gifts and say, "Don't worry, I will not do it again. I will not do it," and then they do it. And then it goes on and on and on. And then the person, by begins to hope like, and I say, it does not mean it. Ah, but yes, apologize. And if anytime he does that, you always apologize. And they will even buy me gifts. So that cycle keeps the victim bonded to the abuser. So what is a trauma bond? A trauma bond is an unhealthy emotional attachment that is formed through repeated cycle of harm and affection. So you see, so it's a repeated cycle. They cause the harm, then they shower the person with affection, and then it confuses the brain. Like this is you. In fact, by the time they come, they're the ones that will go the extra mile and cause surprise people and say, "Plan a surprise for my girlfriend." They can even buy the person expensive gifts. They can give the person a car, and then the brain is confused. Maybe like, okay, I think he loves me. Maybe he's just angry, and then they cause the harm again, and then they apologize, and the gifts come in, and then there's hope that, don't worry, I'm going to change. I say, okay, I'm going to give you a chance, and then it goes on and on and on. So the cycle is very vicious, right? What the apology and the good moment becomes the hook that hooks the person. And so, instead of focusing on this person is harming me, I'm losing myself, the person begins to say, okay, but theirs is good time, oh, and it's not as if it's entirely bad like that, oh. And it's just that, sometimes when he overreacts, he's still working. He says he's going to change. I will pray. I'm praying for him to change. Actually, he was not bought me this, he bought me that. And when he does, he's always apologizing, though. He's always apologizing. So this time around, he will change. He's working on himself. I know the real him. That is not him. He just had a difficult past. If I love him better, maybe they will heal. I need to love them better. And I can't leave him like this now. It's not as if he's a bad person. It's not a bad person. So they make it right. They make the good moments become the hook. So the person becomes confused. So but I want you to know that compassion for someone's pain should not make you a permanent sacrifice for their refusal to change. No matter what anybody has been through, they should be able to change. Anybody that come and say, hey, this is who I am, this is how I am, like this, and I cannot change, you run from the person. Run. No matter what. Yes, we recognize that some people have gone through trauma, gone through a lot. But that also is not an excuse not to change. Your background should not put your back to the ground, and you should not remain on the ground because of your background. You should not be a terrible person because of what I've gone through, or because of what I'm going through. Yes. Say, if I love him better, how well we pray for it. I've had people, you need to know what I've heard. Some ladies, visibly, I'm like, they'll be like, I'm going to, they said he's going to, I'm going to be praying for him. I say, okay, you want to pray? I say, I'll pray. He will change. And he says he's going to change. He promised me. But some people will say, he came to this, he brought the Barra people. In fact, he called me his girlfriend in public. He showed it to everybody. And he said that I'm the one that is going to marry. So he's going to change. I will pray. God will change him. Okay. So that is trauma bonding. Those people are already used to, they are confused that this person harms, and then the person comes, the partner comes, and gives them hope, apologizes, shows them love, and then harms again. So now, this is not to say there won't be a slip up, all right? But when it becomes repeated and it's the same thing, then it is wrong. So I want to say this. Let me say this. Occasional kindness does not cancel consistent harm. Occasional kindness does not cancel. So these people cause more harm than they cause kindness, but they do the kindness to hook the victims and to make them stay with them. Real change is not in crocodile tears. And you used to see how some people will just cry. The way they'll be crying, they can even fall sick. I'm telling you. Some will just fall sick and say, I cannot eat because I've not seen you. I cannot say it has not eat. It is the day he did not eat. I'll be like, it's sometimes it's saddening. Like, open your eyes, right? Do you understand? Real change is not in gifts alone. Real change is not in promises. I promise I'm going to do better, but it's empty. Real change is in consistent accountability. Okay, I'm going to do better. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to start working on my emotions. I'm going to make myself accountable to somebody. I'm going to seek counsel. I'm going to seek therapy. That is real change. But not just empty promises. Don't worry, I'm going to change. Don't worry. Don't worry. I promise. And they start crying. You know what they call crocodile tears. All right. So if somebody now recognizes all the signs, what should they do? What is the next step a person should take? So let's say there's somebody on this call, and as I was talking, you could see you were just relating with everything. Like, oh my God, I've been in an abusive relationship. What should you do next? Number one, the first thing I want you to do is to take a breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. This is not a moment where you shame yourself or blame yourself. Remember, you've been through that a lot. You've been through the shame. So this is not, like I said, this is not to shame anybody or to blame anybody. So this is a moment to become honest. This is a moment where you begin to choose yourself. It's a moment where you choose to live. It's a moment where you choose to recover, choose to do better for yourself. And the first thing you will do is to name the pattern. Give it a name. Call it by the name. Don't just say, oh, we just have relationship issues. The reason why many people cannot live is because they can't put a name to what is going on with them. So give it a name. If it is repeated control, if it is fear, if it is gaslighting, if it is the humiliation, if it's blame game, if it's intimidation, if it's confusion, if it's manipulation, give it a name. Name it as it is. Number two, need to reconnect with a safe support. This is where I will tell you to seek counsel. Seek counsel. And if you're in that position, you can send me a DM. You can chat me up. I've helped so many people navigate this space. I'll be glad to help you. You see, abuse grows in isolation. This is the time to come out of isolation. This is time to speak with appropriate people, someone that is mature, that is competent, that is qualified, that is discreet, that is compassionate, someone that knows exactly what they're going to and can help you navigate that journey. Because I won't tell you to just leave. It is emotional abuse is not a place where you can just leave. There is a process. So secondly, connect with someone that will walk you through a process where you can live safely and start to heal. Because see, a lot of things have gone wrong, and you will need to living is not the only thing. Living is just the first step of your recovery. You have to heal. Number three, seek professional or local support. when needed. This may include a counselor, a therapist, a domestic violence support service, legal advisor, a faith leader, person that understands what is going on. Do you understand? So, like I said, you can always talk to me. Just send me. I'm going to put my phone number on the chat. You can always chat me or send the mails or chat me on Instagram, and I would be glad to help you out. Number 4, if leaving is necessary, there is a plan for leaving. Don't announce your intention before you leave or before you have support, especially when there are threats, there's intimidation, there is fear. Do not announce what you want to do. Right? You are not announce it. And number 5, you need to forgive. But remember that forgiveness does not mean stay in the place where you are being hurt. It does not mean unsafe access. You can forgive and set boundaries, right? You can pray, but you pray and take action, wise actions. You can love somebody and be apart, right? And be separated from them for your safety. You can love somebody and refuse to be destroyed by their behavior. You can love them, forgive them, but do not allow them to destroy you. So this is the moment where you choose yourself, not because you're selfish or self-centered, but just because you choose yourself to live. Because there is a great destiny. There is an importance that is attached to your life. There is an impact that God needs you. You need to choose to live because God needs you, because creation needs you. This is the moment where you choose yourself, where you choose your purpose. So let's talk briefly about safety and exit planning. And then you're almost done. I have like 2 slides to go. Okay. So if you need to leave, there is a plan to live safely. So leaving an abusive relationship is not just an emotional decision, right? You can't just up and say, I'm leaving, right? So it can be a safety decision, a financial decision, a family decision, a legal decision, a spiritual decision. And this is why, and then leaving sometimes might not be immediate. It might take days, it might take weeks. But we always encourage to leave as fast as you can. All right. So, and that's why we don't shame people. We support them with wisdom. We gently prod them to leave, right, and live safely and as fast as they can. So I want you to consider these steps carefully. Number 1, when you know that you need to leave this relationship, maybe you have been isolated and you've been apart from people for a long time and it's broken you, right? And you need to leave. Number 1, you need to identify 1 or 2 safe people that you can contact, right? Number 2, especially when it's in the issue of marriage, it is more complicated on his marriage. Number 2, you need to know where you can go in an emergency. And if it's a marriage situation, please see a counselor. See me, my dear. So you need to know where you can go in case of emergency. You need to keep important documents accessible, right? You need to have transportation options if possible. You need to have emergency funds if possible. And then you need to be mindful of passwords, shared devices, location tracking, and private communication. If children are involved, like I said, if it's a marital situation, seek professional or legal guidance. Do not do it alone. You need to see a counselor or a legal or appropriate bodies. Seek professional help. If there are threats or immediate danger, you have to prioritize emergency support. Please do not handle danger casually and do not isolate. Do not take threats with levity. Many abusers don't want to lose their victims. So when it looks as if the victim is slipping through their hands, they can get they can go to the extreme. The person can lose a lot of things in the process. So it's so much, and that's why the best thing is not to even be in that kind of relationship or being so deep at all. And that's why people need to have the knowledge. So when you begin to see the signs, it gives a warning to you, and you know to exit before you go into deep or you lose yourself. All right. So let's talk about. I don't want us to end by talking about what's harmful, right? Let's talk about what LD love looks like. Let's talk about what LD relationship looks like, so that when you are in a relationship and it's not looking like that, or when you get to a relationship and it's not looking like what it is, then you're able to pinpoint that something is wrong somewhere, and you can you can picture what is not wrong or what is the matter, and if it's not the right one, you can leave. Remember, a relationship is not a do or die affair. And last time I checked, marital status is not a criteria to entry level, right? It's not a criteria to entry level. So what does healthy relationship look like? Right? What does healthy relationship look like? Right? Now, number one, healthy relationship is safe. I've mentioned over time, but I just want to repeat it again. Healthy relationship is safety, where you have a voice, you're not afraid. Healthy relationship gives you honor. You are honored, you're respected, your dignity is protected both in public and in private. Healthy relationship is accountability. It comes with owning up with when there is wrongdoing and changing. Healthy relationship comes with boundaries, respecting your boundaries and respecting where you need to say no. Healthy relationships is consistency, right? So the person does not is not changing character like a chameleon. Their good nature does not just disappear when they're upset. It's consistency. Healthy relationship is support, right? You have support. You're not isolated from people that care about you. You're being exposed more to things that can support you, that can grow you. Healthy relationship is peace, not perfection, but emotional security. It's peace. An healthy relationship is growth. So you are growing, your gift, your identity, your purpose, your confidence are improving. They're not threatened. Your partner is not threatened by your growth. They're not insecure. All right. Rather, they create atmosphere where you grow the more. First John 4:18 says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love draws out fear. And this does not mean that healthy relationships do not have their difficult moments. It means that when the storm comes, when the conflict comes, you wield it together and the outcome makes both of you stronger and holds the relationship together. So before we close, I want to lead you to a personal reflection. I want you to reflect. Take a quiet moment. You don't need to answer publicly. Just be honest with yourself. And let me see if I can just um copy the questions and paste on the chat. So I want you to ask yourself that in this relationship, do I feel safe to speak the truth? Can I speak the truth? Can I air my opinion? Right? Does my voice matter in this relationship? Does my voice matter? Does my feeling matter? You need to ask yourself. Number two, do I feel more confident or more confused over time? Am I growing or I'm shrinking? Right? Am I improving or I am reducing? Because let me tell you something, there's nothing like sitting on the fence. It's either you're growing or you're improving, or you're reducing rather. It's either you're improving or you're reducing. So you're either on the side of light or so if you're not in the light, automatically you're in darkness. There is no in between. There are no gray areas to life. So you ask yourself, are my boundaries being respected or punished? Are my boundaries being respected or punished? Ask yourself, do my apologies lead to change or simply reset the cycle? And am I apologizing for even things I did not do? Ask yourself that, do I still recognize myself? Am I losing my identity? Or my identity is getting strong. I'm getting clarity, more clarity about who I am and who God has created me to be. Am I free to maintain healthy support systems? Am I free to join programs or systems that will help me grow? Right? Ask yourself, do I still recognize myself? You see, sometimes clarity begins with honesty. You need to be honest to yourself. Now, you don't have to answer this on the chat. I want you to be honest with yourself. And if your answers are hitting too close to home, if they are painful, I want you to remember, do not shame yourself. Do not blame yourself. Now you know better. So this is the beginning of wisdom for you. This is not self-condemnation. Now that you know better, you are able to do better. In closing, I want you to know that love is not supposed to break you. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to hurt. And when love hurts, then something is wrong somewhere. It is not normal for love to hurt. So love may challenge you, but it does not seek to destroy you. Love may correct you because it wants you to be better. The correction of love is so that you can be better. Love may require sacrifice, but does not demand you to erase yourself or your self-existence. It does not demand you to lose yourself in the process. Love may come with conflicts, but it doesn't create fear. Please note that God did not create you to be controlled, to be dominated, to be silenced, to be subservient, to be humiliated or manipulated or reduced in the name of love. Man is not meant to dominate man. What God commanded to be dominated is the earth. He said, dominate, subdue the earth and have dominion over the earth, not over mankind. Right? And you are not foolish for hoping, you're not weak for struggling, you're not beyond healing because you stayed. No matter how deep the abuse have gone, you are not beyond redemption, you're not beyond healing, you can still come out. Because now that light has come, the wisdom that you have received is that will help you to find your path towards recovery. I want you to know that God is counting on you, no matter how deep you have gone. God is still there to help you come out. And guess what? God is there to help you recover. There's a chance for recovery. There's a chance of healing. There's a chance of getting better. And that happens when you choose yourself. I want you to make this declaration with me. Right? I want you to make this declaration with me. I've come to the tail end of this webinar, and I hope you've gotten something. Thank you to everyone that stayed to the end. And the replay will be available on YouTube. I'm going to share the YouTube link after the class so that you can have access to the replay. And please share the replay to everyone that is in this class and needs to hear this. These are important information. Sometimes people don't know that it's one information that will save a person's life. Maybe somebody needs to hear this before they get into an abusive relationship. So I want you to say these declarations with me. Please repeat after me. And the rest that I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy it and put on the chat. So, please repeat after me. Number one, I am worthy of love that is safe, honest, honorable, and consistent. I will not call control love. I will not call fear peace. I'm trying to put it on the chat. I will not call fear peace. I will not call manipulation care. I will not call humiliation correction. I will not lose myself to keep a relationship that is breaking me. I receive clarity, wisdom, courage, and support for my next step. I know that God values my life, my peace, and my dignity. And from today, I value my life, my peace, and my dignity. So help me, God. Amen. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much. And this is the time where if you have questions, you can take one or two questions. I know our time is fast spent. Thank you for staying to the end. And I hope you have been able to, I know you have been able to get one or two value. Okay. So, and if this session opens your eyes, take the right step. Speak if you need to talk to me about some things, right? You can get into my DM and I'll be here to attend to you. So if you have any questions whatsoever, let's in the next 1-2 minutes we'll be out of here very soon. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Okay, and if it's a private question, you can send me a personal DM in the Zoom chat. Yes, you can chat me personally. All right. Okay, all right. So because our time is fast spent, any other question, just send it to me via WhatsApp. I'm gonna drop my WhatsApp number now. It's 68855. So that's my WhatsApp number. So chat me on WhatsApp and I'll be happy to, to answer you. And if you know somebody, sometimes we know people and we know they need help. If you know somebody that needs help, you can point them to this video or you can direct them to me. All right. You can send them my number to chat me up and I'm going to speak with them. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you, Favor. Thank you so much, everyone. It is a pleasure and I am glad to do this. We have come to the tail end of the webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So good to see. Just keep in touch with the community. And our next webinar will be holding next month and it's going to be amazing. I'm so glad that you have gotten value this night. And I want to thank you for staying up to this very moment. All right, everyone. Naya Bayowa signing out. And I know that from this moment, healing and restoration is going to take place in our lives in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much, Mommy, for joining, for staying to the very end. My mom is on call. Thank you so much, Ma. I love you. Ma, thank you for always supporting. Thank you for always believing in what we do also. Thank you so much, Favor. God bless you. All right. Have an amazing night, everyone. Let me start the live stream so that I can continue the music.